First and third person games often require the use of both of the analog sticks that you find on a controller, with one stick for player movement and another for controlling the camera for looking or aiming. In this video, we're going to have a look at how a walk forward button can be used, which might be helpful for players who find it difficult to use two analog sticks. This usually may involve some additional hardware such as an accessibility switch to create this. A walk forward button means that you can use a stick for aiming and looking around, and a button to make the character walk forward. In many first-person games, this can work as the character will always walk forward in the direction that you are looking in. For third-person games, this option will only usually work if the camera follows directly behind the character, like here in Fortnite. Whilst not having access to the other three directions on the left stick for left, right and backward movement may restrict the way you play, for some players it can be a way to have greater control over camera movement when using two sticks is difficult or impossible. We will show how to create a walk forward button for console games, and we'll have a look at some examples of games where this option can work well. Using remapping to create a walk forward button. Occasionally, some games allow you to map joystick directions onto buttons. Therefore, you could have the option to map the walk forward action from the up direction on the left stick to another input on the controller. Here in Battlefield 6, I'm using the left bumper to walk forward and the right stick for looking and aiming. The right stick is also used to control the direction I move in as I walk forwards in the direction that I am currently looking. Not every game has this option, however. It is also worth noting that whilst games consoles do offer remapping at system level, they do not currently allow you to remap an individual stick direction to a button input to allow you to set up a walk forward button. Therefore, for games that do not have this option to swap controls from individual stick directions to buttons to create a setup that includes a walk forward button, you may need to use additional hardware. Next, we will have a look at hardware options that we use at Special Effect for each of the current generation of consoles. Xbox Series consoles. On Xbox, it is possible to map a walk forward button via the Xbox Adaptive Controller. The Xbox Adaptive Controller is a controller interface that lets you connect joysticks and accessibility switches to create a customised layout. It can also be used paired to a standard Xbox controller. By default, the X1 port on the back of the Xbox Adaptive Controller is mapped to up on the left stick. Plugging in an accessibility switch will allow players to hold this button down to walk forward, and then use a joystick or the analog stick on a standard controller to change the character's direction and aim. Here we are trying a walk forward button in Halo Infinite. I use the joystick to look around and the switch as a walk forward button to move in the direction that I'm facing. On the Xbox Adaptive Controller, you have the option to make the switch a toggle, so you can press the switch to start walking forward and press it again to stop. PlayStation 5 console. On PlayStation 5, there are a few potential ways to set up a walk forward button. By default, the Access controller, which is the PlayStation 5's official adaptive controller, does not have the option to set up a walk forward button. However, by setting the E1 switch port to left stick, you can create a walk forward button by plugging in the walk box, which is available from one switch. By then plugging in an accessibility switch into the walk box, you can use a single stick to control the camera and direction, and the accessibility switch to walk forward. There is also an optional speed control upgrade which allows you to choose how fast you want the character to walk. An alternative option on PS5 would be to use the Catch-22, a third-party device also made and sold via one switch. You can plug an accessibility switch in to act as left stick up, which would act as walk forward. You do not need the walk box for this setup. Here we are trying the Catch-22 in Call of Duty. I use the joystick to look around, aim and choose a direction which I will walk in when I hold down my switch. To make any of these options act as a toggle so you don't need to hold the button down to walk forward, a latching box could be added to the setup. This would mean a single press is used to start walking and another press is used to stop. Nintendo Switch 2 console. The Hori Flex, which is the officially licensed adaptive controller interface for the Nintendo Switch and the Switch 2, does not have the option for a walk forward button. However, you can get a switch to joystick box from one switch, which allows you to use switches for up, down, left and right joystick directions. Connecting this into the joystick port on the Hori Flex, if I then plug a switch into the up direction, I can use this to walk forward. I change direction using my joystick to walk in the direction I am facing. A version of the Catch-22 is available for both the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. We plug a switch into the walk port to use as our walk forward button. Here we are playing Fortnite. Fortnite does also include a feature which allows you to toggle on sprint forwards by double tapping the left stick click. To stop, either press the left stick click button once more or press up on the left stick, i.e. your walk forward button if you have one set up. A latching box could be added to the setup. This would mean a single press is used to start walking and another press is used to stop rather than holding the switch down. Considerations. A walk forward button will not work well for all games. In first-person games, it may be down to personal preference as to whether using a walk forward button suits your style of play in a particular game. For instance, if you want to be able to strafe left and right to move in and out of cover, then another method of play may be more suitable. It may be that a walk forward button is suitable for most of a game, but occasionally you need to access down on the left stick to climb backwards down a ladder, for example. A walk forward button may also not work well in all contexts within first-person games either. When playing Red Dead Redemption 2 in first person, for instance, the walk forward button can work. However, when riding the horse, the player needs to use both sticks to control the horse and aim, as the right analog stick does not control the direction that the horse is moving in and is used to look around and aim whilst on horseback. This can also be true for first-person games where you have to drive vehicles such as tanks or helicopters when not on foot. So in some games with a first-person camera view, you may still find that a walk forward button is not the best option in all in-game situations. As before, it's worth looking at in-game options and settings to see if there are any settings that will aid you when using a walk forward button. For instance, in Red Dead Redemption 2, you could switch to third-person mode whilst on horseback, which allows you to ride with a walk forward button. In Battlefield 6, which includes various ground and air vehicles, you could remap the vehicle controls. The importance of this may depend on how you choose to play these games and whether you like to use the vehicles or not. Aircraft and helicopters, for instance, are designed to be controlled with simultaneous use of both sticks with movement in all directions, so may not be able to be controlled without two sticks. Alternatives to a walk forward button. As an alternative to using a walk forward button setup, some in-game features or additional hardware options can allow players to play games that require two analog sticks with one instead. We will go through a few of the features and methods that we use at Special Effect. Single stick modes. Alternatives to a walk forward button may include features that let you play with a single stick when two are required by default. Some games like Sea of Thieves offer a single stick control mode that allow you to use the same stick for both inputs, using a button to toggle between them. Swap sticks button. When there is not a mode built into the game, setting up a swap sticks button allows you to use one joystick for both left and right stick inputs. For more on doing this via profile shifting, please see the link below in the description. Adding a second joystick. We will often work with someone to try and add a second joystick to a controller setup when possible. This may involve positioning a joystick to enable someone to access it with another part of their body. For instance, it may be with their chin or with their foot. We will link to more information on the position of joysticks below. Cooperative play. Sharing controls is also an option some players we work with use. So one player may control the right stick for looking and the other may do the left stick for movement, or they take care of some of the other controls, freeing up the player to use both sticks. More information on cooperative play can be found in our video on this. Voice controls. When someone is unable to use a second joystick, one of the options we may consider is using voice as an input. In these instances, we might use voice as an input for a walk forward command, but also add commands to be able to move left, right and backward on the left stick too. To use voice on a console, you need to add a PC into your setup along with adapters. More information on this can be found in our voice control series linked in the description. We hope that this video has been helpful in highlighting how a walk forward button could be used as an option for players to use in some games. More information on in-game accessibility features and alternative controllers and setups can be found on our GameAccess website. For developers looking for more video examples of how developers have improved the motor accessibility of their games, these can be found on the Special Effect Dev Kit. For instance, Other examples of how games have allowed players to swap controls between analog sticks and digital buttons can be found in Module 2.5, Interchanging Analog with Digital. To see how other developers have reduced the use of analog sticks to a single stick, please see Module 2.8, Reducing the Total Number of Inputs.